What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to Mile Higher Podcast, episode 228. We're so excited to have you guys here today. We are uploading on not our normal day.
A Monday.
Yes. How you guys doing? Beginning of the week here.
Excellent.
Yes. So this week is going to be a little different here for Mile Higher. We are going to be doing 2 episodes, and they're both going to be kind of different than our normal long form episodes. We're going to be focusing on several different shorter topics throughout these. And I know it's a little confusing, but this is technically a bonus episode. We do at least 48 episodes per show per year. That is part of our contract. And with me having a baby this year, we fell short of that. So we had
to miss a couple weeks.
Yes. So we are here making a few extra episodes up for you guys, which is great. That means you get more content. So yeah, we're really excited. Today we're going to be talking about robots and the future.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to not be too doom and gloom, but
yeah, because I will get sad.
It's one of those things that I think there's some good, and then there's some potential really bad scenarios that can play out from the future, where we are not only just using robots, we have humanoid robots assisting us with various tasks, but also the idea of potentially merging with that technology eventually.
Mm-hmm. Singularity.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll talk about that a little bit, but there's a lot of pros and cons, I think, to both. And also there's been some recent news about some humanoid robots, which we have briefly touched on, I think, in the last couple of weeks, but we wanted to dive into it a little bit more because I do find it really interesting that we're already, very, very close to introducing humanoid robots into our lives in a lot of different ways, or just robots in general.
We're there.
Yeah, we are there. And I was just thinking before this episode, I'm like, man, when we're old and we're like in the retirement home or wherever we're retired at, like the world's going to look a lot different.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like our grandparents, and we just dealt with the passing of our grandparents this year, and just thinking about how in their sort of final days, I wonder if there's any thoughts of like how the world has changed since I came into the world. I always wonder if like at the end of your life, if you're looking back and like kind of like playing through everything,
I'm sure
comparing like to 2022 to oftentimes 1940s.
It makes me think of that one episode of Black Mirror, the San Junipero, when they're at the nursing home at the end. And it's this futuristic place, and their version though seems pretty nice. Well, and not scary, not too much, technology. But
that's a very trippy concept of like transferring your consciousness to a artificial machine where your life continues on after your physical death occurs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Some pretty interesting stuff. So we wanted to mainly focus this episode on the announcement that Mr. Elon Musk made. It was probably a few weeks ago. It was last month, where there was a Tesla sort of, I forget what they call it. It's like an AI event that they do. And Elon Musk unveiled this humanoid robot that they've started developing called Optimus. And I'm going to play a little clip of that reveal.
Where does this take place?
I would assume California.
Yeah, I believe it's at Tesla, I think.
Look at this little dude.
He's not really a little dude.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a full size.
He's terrifying
like 6
looking.
feet.
Walking out like a little performer.
So this is like, they've been working on this for a little while, but
look at the thighs.
This is not the final form right here.
No, this is not the final form. But still, look at him raising the roof. People are going wild.
It's interesting to me that Tesla, which has been largely an electric automaker, is now delving into robotics as well.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously with Teslas, if you own a Tesla, you know just how advanced its computer is. And
yeah, it's pretty much a robot.
It's a lot of them have self-driving capabilities, and there's basically artificial intelligence built into those cars. And
I could never use a self-driving car. Just
really?
No, it freaks me out so bad. Are you kidding? I can't believe people just take naps.
With peace and love, your driving freaks me out.
What?
I said, with peace and love, your driving kind of freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't blame you, honestly.
I'd rather have the car drive us than Kendall drive us.
But I couldn't like relax and just
I don't know if you're allowed
get on my
to
phone or something or sleep. People
You're
do
not
that.
supposed to do that yet.
Yeah, I don't think
You're not supposed to.
do
So
that.
why do all these people do that? Aren't they going to get pulled over?
Well, I mean, you're taking a risk there because there have been over 100 different incidents, I believe, of Teslas on autopilot malfunctioning, crashing.
Oh my God.
So like
See?
you're supposed to still be sitting there watching the road ahead and like ready to like manually take over at any point. But obviously some people just like, they're like, oh, it's self-driving. I'll just chill out in here then. But
that's terrifying.
yeah.
And it's scary as another driver to see one of them on the road and think, is that driving itself? Or yeah, I just don't trust it.
Yeah. I mean, Tesla just came out, or Elon just said that it's just funny because Elon's just the most egotistical dude ever, but he's basically said the other day that nobody is even remotely close to achieving the same capabilities when it comes to self-driving autonomy vehicles at all. Like no other manufacturer is even remotely close. He claims.
How does he even know
close
that, though?
to.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, there really isn't any other vehicles on the market out currently that have the same capabilities as the Tesla does right now with full autonomy, where you can literally so for example, like GMC, they have Super Cruise capabilities where on certain roads that are mapped by the software, you can allow your wheel to take over and it will change lanes and it's basically autonomous in that where you can sit there and it will, but it's not to the same point of Tesla where you can literally start in a parking spot and punch into, your tablet and say, I want to go here. And then it navigates its way out. It can park itself. So as far as what we've seen on the market, Tesla is definitely leaps and bounds ahead of everybody. And obviously that's, he claims that their software, their AI is just far more advanced than any other automaker out there. Because I mean, now we're starting to see a trickle of more electric vehicles come out with similar capabilities, but nothing is as close to being fully autonomous like Tesla is. And it's just, it's Elon Musk is one of those guys, I think, who I think you have to commend him for his innovation. Like obviously he's all about innovating and like trying to push the envelope and
but how much
the
is that really
capabilities.
him?
Well, yeah. It's like obviously there's ton.
He just has.
We give him all the credit, or the media gives him all the credit, but ultimately he hires the most talented engineers in the world that work for Tesla and SpaceX. So there's certain aspects too, because obviously Elon Musk has been super controversial for many reasons. The whole Twitter thing, don't even get me started on that. But
yeah,
but just he is clearly on a mission to almost like monopolize all technology. Seems right.
Take over the world. He's our overlord.
I know. We always joke about this. I'm calling it right now. Like in the future, if there's anybody that's going to become this evil overlord, it's going to be Elon Musk. Like, because he's got so much. I mean, he's the wealthiest man in the world now. He's got all these companies that are all pushing, like he's trying to push us into the future, but sometimes I feel like he's doing it too quickly and we're not taking the right steps to make sure that we're ready for those big changes that are going to come.
Because like you said, it's all about ego for him. So it's just about doing it first and faster than anyone else.
Yeah. Well,
whether it's
if you're first to market, then you get all of the customers.
Right.
I mean, he's got everybody, and he's just kind of this character at this point that a lot of people really seem to gravitate towards.
So this robot, is it going to be something that the average person can own?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it. Let's finish watching this little promo here. They actually start talking about it now.
Okay.
So the robot can actually do a lot more than we just showed you. We just didn't want it to fall on its face. We'll show you some videos now of the robot doing a bunch of other things.
So if you're listening, they're watching a video.
Yeah, we wanted to show a little bit more what we've done.
Yeah, the robots are like picking up stuff.
And just walking around and dancing on stage. Just humble beginnings, but you can see the autopilot neural networks running as is, just retrained for the bot. directly
the
on that
robot
new
is
platform.
Watering a plant.
That's my watering can.
Yeah, when you see a rendered view, that's the robot. That's the world the robot sees. So it's very clearly identifying objects. Like this is the object it should picking it up.
We use the same process as we did for Autopilot to collect data and train neural networks that we then deploy on the robot. That's an example that illustrates the upper body a little bit more. Something that we'll try to nail down in a few months, over the next few months, I would say, to perfection.
So here you're seeing Optimus with these are the
So this is a
the
different
degrees
robot.
of freedom that we expect to have in Optimus Production Unit 1, which is the ability to move all the fingers independently, to have the thumb have 2 degrees of freedom, so it has opposable thumbs, and both left and right hand, so it's able to operate tools and do useful things. Our goal is to make a useful humanoid robot as quickly as possible, and we've also designed it using the same discipline that we use in designing the car, which is to design it for manufacturing such that it's possible to make the robot in high volume at low cost with high reliability. So that's incredibly important. I mean, you've all seen very impressive humanoid robot demonstrations, and that's great, but what are they missing? They're missing a brain. They don't have the intelligence to navigate the world by themselves.
If I
and
only had a
they're
brain.
also very expensive and made in low volume. Whereas Optimus is designed to be an extremely capable robot, but made in very high volume, probably ultimately millions of units. It is expected
He
to
wants
cost
millions
much
of
Look
less
at
than a
the
car.
evil in his eye.
I know.
He knows
The evil
exactly
in
what
his
the
eye.
fuck that means.
Yeah, we want to sell millions of these at 20,000 a piece.
Dude, this is terrifying. Like, it makes my skin crawl seeing that robot watering plants, doing such a mundane task. Just makes me feel like we're all going to become so obsolete.
Oh, just wait. We talk in a little bit. I put some stuff in here about
Yes,
jobs and stuff. And anyways, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, $20,000. That's really not that bad for if it's truly a fully autonomous robot, humanoid robot that can do all of these things he claims it can do.
Oh my God.
That's people are going to buy that. People are going to go and buy that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's obviously not everybody's going to be able to afford that, but a lot of people will be able to afford it. I mean, he already knows the projections would be millions of units.
Oh my
and
gosh.
this robot could be available, he said, within the next 3 to 5 years.
This is happening way too fast. Just thinking about all of the things that this robot could be used for in terrible ways too. I mean, what if people program their robot to go commit a murder for them?
Well, there's laws now.
There is laws.
There's talk about laws being created of being able to use robots for nefarious reasons, then you're going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah, well, it ultimately be no different than like using any other type of weapon, like a vehicle to run somebody over. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of if they can prove that you're the one who programmed the robot to do something, you're going to be held liable for that robot because that robot's going to be a liability for you.
Mhm.
And obviously, everybody be worried about what if this thing decides to go rogue or something like that? Because we've all seen iRobot, but Elon Musk says there's an external mechanism, whether that be through an app or something, where you would be able to emergency shut it off, I guess.
Yeah. Elon actually said, quote, governed by some laws of robotics that you cannot overcome, like doing harm to others. So I think in general, the robots, I guess, are programmed to know that if you're trying to do something like evil, then they like can't do it. You can't like override their software for it. Or I guess if you do, then you get in trouble for it.
It would like
That would make
alert
sense.
someone if
Yeah.
you're trying to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, they're going to have some type of fail safes in there.
Well, if you've seen iRobot, that shit doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that it depends on the level of AI that these robots have, and do they know,
Mhm.
how advanced are they going to be? Are they going to be like, for $20,000? My guess at the beginning, it'll be like, here's a list of tasks they can do, and then you pick from the tasks, and it goes and does those things. Versus like this thing, you can full on have like conversations with, and it's not quite as advanced as some of the other humanoid robots out there right now, or AI. But the big thing with this is just the amount of money they have the potential to make. It's actually pretty astounding. I mean, you already heard Elon Musk say he wants to sell millions of these. But if they were to sell 50 million robots by 2030, they could potentially create an extra $1 trillion in revenue.
Oh.
We're talking $1 trillion. If
2030, less than 10 years.
Yep. $1 trillion, and by 2040, with 500 million robots out there, 10 trillion.
God.
And obviously with that kind of money, I mean, they're going to put a lot of that back into the product, and just think about how advanced these things could be by the year 2030, 2040.
That's fathomable. It's too hard to even imagine what that would all look like. Thinking of that many robots mixed into our society.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and you got to think too, if there's millions and millions of these humanoid robots out there, what are they doing? Well, they're being used to do jobs, which a lot of humans are doing those jobs right now. So obviously that's going to create a huge displacement of workers.
Huge. I mean,
in service industries, especially, because that's what these robots are really kind of being made for, is to do either manual labor or, be programmed to work inside, for example, like a fast food restaurant. That's going to 100% be robots back there.
Yeah.
There's not going to be because they're going to get it right every time. It's going to be consistent, and it's going to be more efficient. They don't have to, provide all these benefits. Like, that's what's going to happen is a lot of companies, once this is available and affordable, they're going to go that way.
Waitresses.
Yes, all service stuff.
Truck drivers.
Yep. Well, that's the other thing too, is I think the Tesla semi press conference is coming up here soon. I think either.
Oh no.
So he's already got electric semis, which I believe right now they still have to be driven by a human, but they're going to be fully autonomous too. So that all of the truckers who are out there right now are going to be replaced by fully autonomous semis.
So the majority of people are going to have no job and be essentially useless to society. And we just hit 8 billion people in the world. So that's excellent.
Right.
Tesla aims to produce 100 semi-trucks, electric trucks this year. That was published 1 day ago.
That's just sad. I hate all of this so much.
So like on the flip side, what Elon would say is like, well, what we're doing is we're going to make the roads safer. There's not going to be all these trucking accidents. Things are going to be cheaper to ship because the actual shipments are going to arrive on time, and it's going to be fully autonomous. It's going to make everything more fast, efficient, cleaner. That's his sort of pitch for this. But at the same time, he never brings up the fact of like, well, there's all these people that do trucking for a living. What are they going to do? What happens when you displace that whole industry and all of those guys that rely on that for paychecks are replaced by an AI operated semi? What are they going to do?
So sad.
So it's because it's like not only that, factory jobs. I mean, most factories these days have a heavy use of robotics in there. Most automakers are fully autonomous robots that are making most of the cars, and then humans kind of do some of the checking over things and some of the smaller stuff maybe. But it's going to be, all factories are going to be 100% run by AI. You'll walk into a factory, there's not going to be a human in sight. There'll be like a human sitting up in a computer room just overseeing the whole thing, but there's not going to be any humans required to make anything.
That's insane.
So I get the pros, but the cons is that what are all these people going to do who work in these industries that are going to be replaced by robots? I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's going to be a major deal.
Did you know 1 out of 8 couples struggle with infertility? Seriously, it's a staggering statistic, and most people don't know that. Knowledge is power, and when you know more, you can make better decisions for your body, your health, and your future. And there aren't many decisions bigger than having a kid, but for many women, their fertility is a big question mark. That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's an easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. Then you mail it in with a prepaid label, and you get your personalized results within 6 days. You'll get insight into your hormone levels, like your ovarian reserve, which is if you have more or fewer eggs than the average person your age, and other important factors that can impact your fertility. And the results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also download the results to review with your doctor for next steps. Traditional hormone testing at a fertility clinic can cost over $600. But Modern Fertility tests the same general set of hormones at a fraction of the price. And if you go to modernfertility.com/milehigher30, you can get $30 off your test. Plus, you can get reimbursed for the test through your FSA or HSA. So if you want kids today or maybe one day in the future, clinically sound info about your body can help you make the decision that's right for you. And right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $30 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/milehigher30. This is a limited time offer for $30 off, and that means your test will cost only $149. Hormone testing at a fertility clinic can cost more than 3 times that much. So get $30 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/milehigher30. modernfertility.com/milehigher30.
Back in 2020, I was reading this organization called the World Economic Forum. They're based in Switzerland. They stated that roughly 30% of all tasks right now are done by machines and humans do the rest. However, by the year 2025, it's believed that this will change to a 50-50 combo of humans and machines. That's 2 years from now. Again, I don't know if this is 100%, happening. This is just their prediction, but
God, thinking of what the world is going to be like, even by the time our daughter's in like 5th grade, this is happening way too fast. I can't
That's what I'm
even
saying is
mentally
like
understand.
this future is coming at us extremely fast, and I don't think any of us are prepared.
No.
For example, so if we go back to Ray Kurzweil, Google's director of engineering and well-known futurist, which we've talked about here on the show in the past. He's made a ton of predictions about the future since the 1990s, and he claims an 86% accuracy rate. So he believes that by 2029, computers will have human-level intelligence, which, according to that Google engineer, which the H3 podcast actually interviewed him, Blake LeMoyne,
Yes.
I think is his name.
That is a wild.
He used to work at Google, and he claims that Google's AI is already sentient or conscious, and that he had like conversations with it. It was like a friend to him, and this has been disputed by Google. They say, "Oh no, it's not."
Of course,
But
but if you watch this interview, you can tell this guy's. I mean, he has
I don't think he's
no
lying.
reason to lie. There's no ego involved in it for him at all. Yeah, some of the things he was talking about absolutely blew my mind. I definitely recommend listening to that interview because,
yeah,
God, I mean, he basically said that they have no control over it too,
Mhm.
that they can't turn it off. No one knows what to do with it.
yeah, he said it was testing Google's chatbot generator known as Lambda, which is
Yeah.
short for language model for dialogue applications, and grew convinced it had taken on a life of its own as Lambda talked about its needs, ideas, fears, and rights. So if that is all true, that would suggest that Lambda is a sentient being, an artificial being, but a being nonetheless, that it's now asking about its rights. So and that's the thing is I feel like we're forging ahead into this future. We're building humanoid robots, but we're not actually like, where's the conversations happening about how this will change civilization if all of a sudden we have these robots that are conscious beings that believe they have rights? There's going to be a whole moral argument out there. The world's going to get crazy because people are going to clash on this. As soon as this is
big
public
time,
and
big time.
people realize that these robots are sentient and want to be considered basically an equal to a human because they believe they have a consciousness and they have rights, what are we going to do? What kind of moral dilemmas is that going to create?
Oh my God, too many to even count.
So if that doesn't scare you, then by 2045 is when Ray Kurzweil believes the singularity will occur.
that's like not far at all from
2045.
right now.
So it's
We got
2022.
23 years.
So we'll be in our 50s when AI is at an equal or higher level of intelligence than a human.
Yeah. Our
Not only
daughter will
that-
just be like heading into the workforce.
Right.
Great timing.
But that also means the point at which humans and this technology may merge. So this technology is integrated into our lives, integrated into us physically through biotechnology, nanotechnology.
So scary.
So it's like there could be good things that come from this. So there could be a lot of diseases. There could be a lot of, on the medical side of things, nanobots and things like that are all really promising for future. It's scary to think about
No, that's
swallowing
true.
a nanobot
Yeah.
and having it go down into your arteries, but it could be a very efficient way to save lives.
Yeah. If
and
you were going to
potentially-
if it could save your life, would you do it? Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And that's the big dilemma is like, is it worth making these advances in in all areas of life? We're going to advance transportation, the medical industry, all these different ways. But is it worth it? Because the repercussions are we will live in a society where we will be friends with robots. We'll have that so-and-so robot over for dinner because that robot's now our friend and we treat it just like any other human being.
Yeah, we talked a lot about this recently on the sesh, actually, about companionship from robots and if it's safe or makes any fucking sense at the end of the day. I mean, if you think about it, there's so many people out there that really could use a companion, that this could be very useful for them, or children. I mean, we talked a lot about this robot. It's called Moxie. It's a robot for kids. Very questionable in my opinion. Anyway, this thing could really be a friend to your child. And if your child has no friends and is building no social skills, could it be useful?
Is it a pro?
But is it going to, in fact,
is it like an
limit
artificial?
Them at the end of the day?
I think it will.
I don't know.
Unless this thing can talk and act like a human, which we're getting close to it being. But there's just so many dilemmas that I see coming up where I feel like in the future we'll see full-on protests against robots and things like that. Like it's going to be a major fight, a major argument in the world of like, do we want? Because once people start losing their jobs to robots, I think that's when people are going to really start getting pissed off because people who spent their whole life in these industries are all of a sudden replaced by robots. What the fuck are they going to do?
But think about it, like, in order to get a skill for a job, you have to have some type of training or some type of education. It takes a while to be able to be good at your skill and your job. But robots, you just program it. There's no needing to go to college. There's no needing to go to training to get a certification, to get a whatever. Like,
and it'll just get better over time.
And robots, they can work 24/7. They don't need weekends. They don't need sick time. They don't need PTO.
Yeah.
Like they can work 24/7. They don't need sleep. And so if you think about it, if Elon's because they've also talked about if they're not going to sell these robots, they could lease them. So let's say you lease one of these dudes for $20,000 a year. Okay, so it's basically like paying an employee that can work literally 24/7, $20,000 a year salary. It's like nothing.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
The problem is that this is going to enable the rich to get a million times richer.
Yep.
Because as soon as this is affordable and available, they are going to drop all humans like a hot rock and then get these robots in there because there's not the liability, there's not the healthcare, there's not all these benefits. They don't have to provide the robot a 401k, health benefits. No.
PTO, nothing.
Yeah. They're going to need a few humans to kind of watch over the operation and maybe do maintenance, but like otherwise they're going to have these things running 24/7 and they're going to just be able to, their production is going to go way up. So of course they're going to do this. And it's this inevitable thing that's coming. And I feel like so many of us are just not prepared for that, especially those that are in these industries, like thinking about, is my job going to be there in 10 years?
Yeah.
And even in technology, when I was in IT, we would have discussions about how pretty soon AI is going to be able to run the networks and fix issues with equipment. And unless it's an actual physical thing, which eventually in the big data centers of the world, there's not going to be humans in there. It's going to be these humanoid robots that are going in, installing new equipment, fixing stuff. And there's just going to be a smaller need for human employees at all companies. So then what do people do? Like, people are going to have to figure it out and like figure out a career where a robot can't possibly replace you. But what careers are those?
See, this is why I don't understand his statement saying that future of abundance, a future where there is no poverty, a future where you can have whatever you want in terms of products and services. It really is a fundamental transformation of civilization as we know it. But how does he explain that?
That sounds like a bunch of just like pretty words to say to get people excited about his idea. Because I'm like, how is that going to eliminate poverty? That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
It's not going to raise people out of poverty. Well, how would that do
I'm
that?
not understanding.
Was your robot, you buy a robot for $20,000, it'll build you a house?
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know what he means by that because I don't really see a way that would even make sense. How are they going to pull people out of poverty with these $20,000 robots? Doesn't make sense.
I have no idea.
Somebody in poverty won't even be able to afford one of these. So how does that affect them at all?
Can organizations buy these and send them to places and have them do work?
The government can fund projects.
Send a humanoid robot to hang out with the homeless? Like, what? I don't understand what it would do. Like, how is it going to help the homeless?
Maybe because we can produce things more things so that things will be cheaper and that homes can be. I don't
think
know.
that's going to happen.
I don't know. I'm just trying to understand his statement, but yeah, it sounds like bullshit to me.
Sounds like just a ploy to get people excited about the idea that that's his ultimate plan. I think the ultimate plan is to make a shit ton of money and then also have a monopoly basically on these. If he's got millions of these units out there before any other company brings a humanoid robot to the market, we are literally going to be in Elon Musk's world, which we already kind of are.
Right.
But he's really going to he's going to have more control than the governments do with this amount of AI machines out in the public and in businesses, and governments will buy it. I mean, it's really scary, honestly.
He wants to like have these mass produced robots in the market by 2030. And I was reading some examples just to like put it into perspective. If 30% of the global workforce was disrupted, they would require 996 million robots. So he's saying that these humanoid robots are capable of so much more than just regular robots, that it requires less overall robots because they'll be able to do so much more that they can just take over not just one job, but like, 20 jobs and still have one quote unquote body doing it.
That is unbelievable.
What are those people going to do? Well, I want to hear what's his plan? What's his plan when he displaces all of these workers? How are they going to make a living? How are they going to possibly find work again?
But we know if it wasn't Elon doing it, it'd be someone else. Like this is coming no matter what. There's nothing that we can do about it.
Yeah, well, in Japan, the Japanese government recently said that they want humanoid robots or just robot activity within all homes by 2025.
But Japan has been doing this for much longer
Yes,
than
they are far
other
more
parts of the world. They're very advanced. They've got tons of really, honestly, I think, cool things. And they've been doing it for far longer than we have.
Have you ever seen just people on TikTok showing their everyday life, their routines, all the little gadgets they have? It's crazy.
All their fancy vending machines they have.
There's
those are always cool.
Fancy vending machines.
One robot called Pepper, and apparently Pepper only cost $2,000. And I keep wanting to call it like he or she.
Pepper's only $2,000.
Yeah, and he was designed to
it's less than a Mac.
Basically become a member of your family. Like he recognizes human emotions. He'll adapt his behavior to the moods of people around him. And this is kind of cool though. In 2019, Pepper was actually used to be a receptionist at hospitals. His tasks included greeting patients, taking temperatures, and giving out hand sanitizer. And he's also been used to help ease loneliness in elderly patients during a shortage of nurses.
See, and in times like that, it's quite useful.
Yeah.
Is it though?
The pandemic.
Is anybody really getting some serious comfort from Pepper?
Actually, yes. Now, if you want to keep going. So then there's this other one called Paro. Paro is like this little baby seal that's stuffed.
That is wild.
And
just looks like your average stuffed animal.
To create warm emotional responses and having a calming effect. When you touch their whiskers, it literally makes this cute little like cooing sound. It flutters its eyelashes. It can learn names and faces. And it can replicate different emotions. There's this one video, we should watch it, of Paro.
All right, yeah, let me see this Paro. It goes for $5,000. Let's see if it's worth it.
Damn, Paro's more expensive than fucking Pepper.
I know. I was confused about that too.
That's crazy.
Paro is a therapeutic robot developed by ICE and available from Intelligent System Corporation.
It's got like a binky.
Look at it.
Paro, modeled on a baby harp seal, displays emotional responses to external stimuli, which are input via a range of tactile, light, audio, and temperature sensors. Paro is designed to have a positive psychological effect on people who interact with it. In long-term trials by medical institutions, it's been confirmed that Paro has similar effects to animal therapy. Major results have been observed in 3 areas: psychological, physiological, and social effects.
So dogs are useless now too?
Yeah, what the hell?
No, there's literally, dude, when I was reading about this, studies were showing that these things are just as, if not more effective than emotional support animals, like real animals.
So dogs are out of work too.
Yeah.
We're all screwed.
All the pets are screwed.
Isn't that wild?
That is.
So people have artificial
showing
pets.
that it can help with anxiety, depression, loneliness. But of course, it doesn't need to be like walked or fed. There's no maintenance with it.
Fuck?
This world's going to be fucking nuts, dude.
I don't even want.
People are like,
oh
hi, this is my pet seal.
I
It's
wish
cute
you were
as fuck,
talking about
though.
like 2090
Paro.
or something. The fact this is coming so soon is really
Oh,
upsetting me.
During the
I'm not
pandemic,
ready.
New York ordered and distributed over 1,000 robot pets to various people to help combat loneliness during quarantine.
Give them a. What about
And-
all the animals in shelters? Why not grab some of those
Seriously.
and just start handing them out?
But you probably don't have to feed this thing.
No, you don't have to feed it. You don't have to walk it. You don't have to clean up after it.
Oh,
I don't know.
You're not
I feel like
allergic to it.
I
it's
don't know.
making pets obsolete.
People are gonna.
And-
then what happens to the real animals? They're all just
But-
gonna be screwed.
Oh,
Here's the
dude.
real thing. You get attached to your animals. Animals die. Then what?
Paro doesn't.
Paro doesn't die. The dude's good to go. And if for some reason his little motor craps out, okay, who cares? Buy another one. It's like the exact same thing.
Yeah, but you're not getting. There's no energy coming from this thing.
No, I agree. I mean,
there's no vibes.
I'm
There's
like,
no
there's
nothing.
no way Paro gives me the same love that Charlie does. No way. But
Yeah.
that's
I don't
these
know,
studies
Paro's
are
pretty
showing
cute.
that it's helping with dementia, helps with folks with autism. Like
I could
there's-
see maybe the elderly and dementia patients, things like that, but just the average person who has anxiety or depression, they're gonna choose this Paro toy over a real animal.
I don't know.
That's just mind blowing. Remember when we were kids, there was like those robotic dogs.
Yeah.
Robo
That could, like,
dogs,
do,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
flips and-
Well, those things are still around and they're way more advanced these
Oh,
days.
yeah.
Oh, I bet.
The robo dogs. That's what I'm
I
saying. People
bet.
are gonna have
Yeah, I would get
fake
bored with mine
artificial
quickly.
pets. You're gonna go over to somebody's house and you're gonna be greeted at the door by their robot dog.
This
Or
is
something way
insane.
cooler like robot elephant or something. Like, you can't have an elephant as a pet, but you could have a fake elephant
You
as
could
a
have
pet.
like an
the
AI
seal.
tiger in your house.
Yeah.
That's gonna be what the hell?
Dude, the world's going to be so different. I can't even
AI
picture it.
fish
In
tank.
10 years?
I'm leaving.
What?
I'm going off grid. I'm already telling you right now.
No.
This future turns out this way.
No,
I'm
we're
taking
not.
you, the kids, the animals, and we're moving to the middle of nowhere and we're gonna live in a bunker.
Honestly, if it gets bad enough, I'm down.
Because
is
I don't want to
crazy.
live where everything is fake, everything's artificial. Then nobody cares about nature or actual real living
No.
beings and animals anymore.
Yeah, it's really just depressing. I
'Cause-
mean, thinking of all the ways that it can help people who are in need, who do have medical conditions that this could be very helpful for or are lonely. Of course, there's pros to it, but then you just think, is it worth the sacrifice for humanity as a whole? Because I do not think this is going to be better for us in the long run. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope that, it does make a future with no poverty and
It's not.
everyone's happier
not.
and healthier. And
There is never going to be this like utopia of everybody is happy and has everything they need because AI and robots came in and saved
maybe
the
it's
day.
just hard for us to see it right now.
Mm.
I
Isn't
don't
that the
know.
whole point of the Kardashev scale?
It's true. Janelle's right. If we want to be able to move up in our intelligence and our,
I just don't know that we are gonna ever get to that point. I don't think we're capable as like humans to get to a point where we can I think the only way that we would get to a point where we'd move up on the Kardashev scale is if we did decide to fuse ourselves with technology and get help on that front.
Yeah.
But then also start creating these artificial beings and things like that because there's a lot of arguments out there that some of the aliens out there are actually like artificial beings, AI generated beings that look like they're biological, but they're actually like there's some theories out there like the gray aliens aren't in fact like biological aliens, who came from star system and have all these, unique biological capabilities, but in fact they were made in a lab and they have an artificial sort of brain to them.
God.
But I did want to get to Ameca
Yeah.
because Ameca is probably the most advanced robot that's out there in the world right now. And this robot is able to have full-on conversations with people, and just the way that it moves and it looks it creeps me out. But
Ew, I hate
take a look
it.
at this.
Look at its face.
It's like
Ugh.
full
It,
ass conversation.
Yeah, this thing is like pretty close to being a sentient being.
This is wild.
Hello, Ameca.
Oh, Ameca. Sorry.
Hello there.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Oh no, we're so fucked. We're
This
so
is it.
fucked.
Here. What is your name?
I'm Chris.
Chris.
Are you okay?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Are you okay if I shoot a video of you?
Absolutely.
Oh,
This is what's going to greet
Oh,
you
no,
everywhere
no.
you go.
So, Ameca, what are you?
I am a humanoid robot. I am designed as a research platform for human-robot interaction.
How many fingers am I holding up?
This is great.
You are holding up 4 fingers. And I like
face
your
is freaking me out.
And I
sweatshirt.
like your sweatshirt.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's
Humans
literally looking
love
at you.
compliments.
Humans love
What the
compliments.
fuck?
That's scary.
I just, okay.
Welcome to the future.
I can't believe how fast everything's moving. The fact that we are only one generation apart from our child and our lives are so different, going to be so wildly different, is hard to wrap your mind around. The fact that we were still playing VHS tapes when we were kids.
Yeah. We were around when it was like projector TVs. Like TVs weighed like 1,000 pounds. You know, like the big Mitsubishi TVs, the big square ones that weighed like 3 tons. Now TVs are paper thin. And can be bended, like bendable screens, and you know they contain AI in themselves. Alexa's in our TVs, and
This gives me insane anxiety.
Think about when Siri came out. Not even that long ago, we were all like, "Holy shit, it's like a robot on our phone." Now Siri's dumb as hell compared to Ameca or Ameca, whatever her name is.
Siri's a fucking idiot. You're right.
well, Siri's is already getting smarter,
Yeah, it is.
and it's only gonna get smarter as time goes on. Because you don't think that Apple's going to continue developing Siri? No, they're going to keep developing that shit. I bet you anything Apple is secretly behind the scenes working on an Apple robot too.
I was wondering about that. Why they don't have something like that yet? But
I feel like Apple's got a lot of projects in the works for like really revolutionary stuff that they just are not revealing yet. That's why they
under wraps.
and they're just kind of like
They've got to be
the innovation at Apple has slowed down immensely from the Steve Jobs era.
Yeah.
And now it's like slight changes to the existing devices, but really it's the same fucking thing for the last 10 years. I mean, the iPhone hasn't really changed that dramatically over the period it's been around, but I'm just like, at some point, I'm sure Apple's going to come out with something they've got to come out in order to survive into the future and compete with Google, Google's AI is.
And Amazon with their Amazon Astro.
Would you get one of these dudes? Little Amazon Astros?
Fuck no, I don't have anything Alexa. I disable Alexa. I don't put any Alexa devices in my house.
Yeah, we don't have any like things you speak to. But then, you know, we
Siri's
carry
the
on
only
phones that listen to us. So it's like, how much is that really doing?
Well, Alexa, I think, is a far more
so
advanced.
what else does the Astro do? It hooks up to your Ring system. So it's mobile security, patrols your house. Can manage calls, messages, set timers, alarms. It's more like mundane stuff. Oh, it can remind you to do things like do your dishes, take out your medicine. This thing is going to be obsolete in like a year. Before it even gets to market, there's going to be something that does the dishes.
Right.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, your Tesla robot's going to do the dishes for you.
Yeah.
People are going to buy these and then have it be like their housekeeper. I mean, you saw it watering plants.
Nuts.
It's just going to walk around your house all day doing chores, cleaning your house, cooking, which
this is going to make us so brain dead. We're going to be so useless and lazy.
Yes.
Watering my plants is something I enjoy so much.
No, your ass will go sit on the couch and watch your robot.
The robot's going to be like, I can do the plants. I'm going to be like,
sit the fuck down. Enjoy yourself.
Robot's going to be like, Kendall, you're not watering your plants correctly. According to my analysis, the
soil pH
is off. You should be it's going to do it better than you can.
This is horrific, and I hate everything. And that's all I have to say on this episode.
We should watch the Q&A of Ameca.
Okay.
Because right now, the big thing is she doesn't have legs. She doesn't walk. But her newest thing is they're working on getting her legs so she can literally walk around and do everything. But
she's like, wait, bitches.
Listen to this Q&A.
If I had to choose a month of the year, I would probably choose October because I enjoy the cooler temperatures and the leaves changing color.
That's nice.
What the fuck?
Who told you that?
And then it says, in the past, engineered arts have constructed walking legs. Are there any plans for Ameca to have some made?
I can't walk, but I have seen prototype legs in the engineered arts lab. The design of my legs is inspired by the robot Byron, developed by Engineered Arts Limited. It has unique mechanical properties that allow it to walk without using too much energy. The prototype legs are made of aluminum and plastic. I think it will take about a year for my walking legs to be ready.
Oh no,
guys. The design of them is extraordinary.
Oh no. I'm gonna throw
Will you be my friend?
I would love to be your friend. We could hang out, talk, play games, go on
Oh
adventures.
God.
Really,
And then I'll kill you
anything
in your
can
sleep.
think of. So many places we could go. It's hard to choose just one. Maybe we could go explore a new city or go hiking in a beautiful forest.
No.
There are many wonderful cities in the world, but I think exploring Paris would be an amazing adventure.
Look at her
There is
teeth.
so much history and culture to experience there.
Ketchup or mayo?
I would most likely choose ketchup over mayonnaise because I like the taste of ketchup more.
No,
You don't
Because I
eat.
You don't have
realized
taste
that
buds.
ketchup has a more tangy and acidic taste that I actually prefer.
How did
You're
she know
running
that?
along a cliff and you're going to fall. On the right side of the cliff is a lake of ketchup, and on the left side is a lake of mayonnaise. Which way would you go?
I would choose to go to the right because I prefer the taste of ketchup over
Bitch,
mayonnaise.
she already told you she likes
But
ketchup.
could go
it's
to
like
keep up.
understanding
No, it just
complicated questions.
The ketchup lake on the right because I prefer the taste
she'd
of
rather
ketchup.
go in the ketchup
insane.
lake.
She like gets the whole question. What the fuck?
That is just imagine where that's gonna go.
Because it just proves like it's not like she's
Yeah.
1,000 pre-set questions
No,
and
it
answers. It's
came
like
up with something.
understanding what you're saying, what you're
Yeah.
asking, even like a weird thing like ketchup in a link or mayonnaise, and it tells you which one wants to go in.
And why?
Talk about a companion though.
Yeah, I was going to say, think about all the people out there
People are
who
gonna-
have like, I mean, there are people that actually have dolls as
Oh, yeah.
their spouse and like,
Well, people
have-
are gonna marry these things.
yeah. Oh,
They're
for
gonna
sure.
marry them. They're gonna
For
date
sure.
them. You're gonna go out in public. You're gonna see a human walking
Mail
hand in
order
hand,
brides are out of business
and
now.
you can design your own robot to be your wife.
Damn.
I mean, there
Shit
are
just got real.
this technology is then going to become a full blown thing that you could have intimacy with, and
Ugh.
I mean,
Ew.
you don't think that this type of technology? I mean, there's already very very advanced sex robots out there, but like imagine taking this
There
AI.
are?
Oh yeah, you can order them up however you want
Mm-hmm.
and have it look how you want and have working parts and
Mhm.
yeah.
They look like humans. But
Yeah.
I think the difference is this thing has a brain and emotion,
Right.
and you
That's
can
where
not
it is.
only have sex with it, but you can also like fall in love with it.
You can literally like talk to it like it would be a human being.
Yeah, take it out on dates.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna see. You're gonna go out. We're gonna go out in 20 years.
Ew, I hate all of
And
this.
these things are going to be walking around with us. We're going to be interacting with these things everywhere.
This is disgusting.
If you live in any sort of civilized area, that's why we'll be
Imagine just,
off-grid.
I mean, what year did we start this podcast? Like
2018.
2018,
Yeah.
17, 18. Imagine what we would have thought of this even then. It would have seemed so
Yep.
out of the realm of possibility.
Well, according to Ray Kurzweil, in 3 years, these things are going to be at human level intelligence, if not greater.
God, where is the world
3
going to be
years.
at when
Yep.
we wrap this show up?
Well, we might have robot producers. Janelle's going
Yeah.
to become obsolete.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
we'll just
We're
get
going to be obsolete too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Ameca
say.
over here to come in here and Ameca.
No, all three of us. It'll just
Yeah.
be robots. Robots don't make mistakes. They don't need to edit out things. They don't need to re-say anything. They
Yeah.
don't need to research anything.
We would only need one editor for our whole company, one robot, and he could work
The entire
24/7.
thing.
Perfect.
He's hosting the show. He's producing the show. He's researching the show.
You got bonus episodes? No problem. I've got endless time.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well-
this is truly fucked. I hate everything, and
Goodbye.
I think that's all we have.
Bye. So yeah, think about that for a
Yeah.
bit, and
Of course, we
Let us
want to know your thoughts on this. As always, you guys, sound off in the comments. Are you terrified? Are you excited? Would you get a robot?
Yeah,
and
will you
what
be
type
buying
of robot, like how far would you go with the robotics into your everyday life? I want to know what you guys think. But that is going to be it for us today. We will be back on Wednesday.
yeah, with another episode.
Yeah, it's going to
So
be some
we'll-
fun times.
We'll see you then.
This was nice. But until then, keep on taking your mind a mile higher until a robot starts taking it higher than you.